Hey folks, Bob Reese here with the Guides Forecast, giving you a fishing report for Sunday, August 4th. Astoria Buoy 10. Actually did not hear much about what happened in the river today. I assume not that much difference, but folks got pretty motivated to fish offshore because one, the fish has been good, and two, the weather's been nice as well. It was rougher today than it was yesterday. I was kind of surprised that we... Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. There's always something bugging me out here. The bats are flying around. So there was some bar restrictions in the morning. I heard, I didn't start till 8 o'clock again, but I think there was a 26-foot bar restriction this morning. And we went across the bar about 8:30, 8:45. It wasn't bad. There's always that little kind of ebb chop that happens right by buoy 14 where it builds up a little bit on Clatsop Spit. It wasn't dangerous, but we just took it a little bit slow, and then as you got further out around that corner closer to buoy 12 and buoy 10, it laid back down again. But overall the ocean was a little bit more swelly. Again, not terribly uncomfortable, not dangerous, but not as nice as yesterday. And it's one thing that's changed a bit in recent days is that we're kind of back to that program where they're not biting all day like they had been. It is a morning bite again. People are having a tough time fishing near the river mouth because of the screaming outgoing minus tide in the morning. The fish just aren't biting that well that time of the tide. It's almost universal. Max ebb is not a great time to fish, even in the ocean. Now, if you get away from the river influence, you'll get some fish, but the fish that had been biting pretty good a few days ago down by the weather buoy about 2 miles south of buoy 2, you can get some fish, but it's not as fast and furious as it was even just a few days ago. So even getting out of that river influence, you're not guaranteed to really smash them. There were guides that and fishing guys, not just guides, that fished off the peninsula, and they weren't overwhelmed with action up there. So there were more Chinook that showed in the catch. I had 6 people, and we did harvest 11 keepers. 3 of those 11 were Chinook. One was in about the 20-pound class. One was in about the 15-pound class, and that was a nice orange-fleshed upriver bright. I think it was hatchery. And the 2 other fish, that one big 20-pounder and one that was just legal at 23 inches, those were Thule's and cut a bit pale. So not unexpected to see the Thule strain make the early show here. That's the first fish in the river. Those were both hatchery fish. Maybe all 3 fish were hatchery fish. Chinook, and then a decent grade of coho. And most of our bites came, like yesterday, on the north side of the green line. We started at buoy 7 again today. No bites early. That's where we got our first Chinook yesterday. But then as we got halfway between buoy 7 and buoy 3, and again halfway to buoy 1 from buoy 3, that's where the action was. And it was good action. A lot of wild fish again, a lot of Chinook jacks out there. So people are handling a lot of small Chinooks. So please be real careful with those upon release. And I got one of those tools that works really well, which is basically just a wooden dowel with a teacup hook on the end of it. And you can grab that leader and just run that hook down into your stainless steel hook itself. Give a quick jerk, and those hooks come right out without having to wait for the Chinook twist to end before you get your hands down there where the hooks are and risk getting hooked trying to let those undersized fish go. So hopefully you have an alternative way to release those fish efficiently. But people scraped them out for the most part, and there was definitely better action in the morning, but it's also max ebb, so folks might experience that same sort of scenario tomorrow morning. You can see in the background that marine layer is starting to get in. That's the Astoria Bridge in my background there, and so I don't know. I didn't really look at the forecast. I think there maybe is some fog in the forecast, but swell and winds are supposed to be light and variable, and the swell is supposed to be somewhat subdued. So it shouldn't be an overwhelming experience, even if you do cross the bar at first light. But I think there is a fair chance, given the swell size I saw out there today, that there may be bar restrictions first thing in the morning. So to play it safe, you may want to do a late start if you are fishing tomorrow, 9 o'clock. And then certainly if you're fishing the river, max ebb in the river, as I stated earlier in the video, is far from the best idea. So if you do fish the river tomorrow, I wouldn't start before 9 in the morning, especially wouldn't start before 9 in the morning. And no huge numbers of Chinook in the river, that much I know. But you'll just hunt and peck, starting down low on the last part outgoing and working your way upstream to the bridge for high tide. So it's going to keep building. It's going to get better every day, and there's definitely catchable numbers of Chinook in the river right now. But as long as that ocean stays somewhat calm and productive, that's going to be where a lot of the effort takes place. So not a time of the year to make any mistakes. Don't take any chances crossing that bar. And do check out our free webinar on ocean and bar safety, available from our homepage at www.theguidesforecast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe and good fishing.